Okay, so welcome to the 15th C# tutorial video, and we ended the video on this line, and then I was about to explain what MySql data reader also does. Okay, so if you hover the mouse cursor on it, it will explain to you what it does. So the summary here says provides a means of reading a forward only stream of rows for MySql database. This class cannot be inherited. So what it's saying is, after you've done your query, and then after you've given it to MySql command for it to query the database, it reads it. So what MySql data does is it reads whatever it gets from the database, okay, and then it saves it to whatever we named it. So when we initialize MySql data reader, we named it as data reader here, which is equal to, okay, cmd, which is MySql command. So we have to put this one also here, so that MySql reader will read whatever it gets out of this, okay, which is from the table. Okay, so after it gets this, then what you execute the reader. Okay, so what MySql reader does is it creates a MySql data reader. You must call the execute reader method of the MySql object rather than directly using a constructor. So after that, you just call the executor, and then it reads whatever it gets for you. So if you want to know more about it, you can read all here. It's just all here, and then yes, okay. So yeah, so you can pause the video, and then you can just go through, and then it will tell you what it does. I can read all this thing for you. Okay. Okay, so let me go slow so that you can just pause it as and when you want to read. Okay. Okay, so for that's for it. Okay, the same thing too for this one. You just read whatever you want, and then for the executor too, if you write it in your if you write in your software, you get a chance to read it. So okay, yes, so after you are done with this, we want to check if the MySql data reader got a row. So after you are done with it, you have to read it out. Okay, so you just go here, data reader.read, and then now you close it. Okay, so now meaning it has read whatever I got from the database. Okay, after that, now for us to get data out of the table, we wanted to check if the table contained any row. So what you have to do is you have to use an if and else statement here to check and see. Okay, so if the table contains a row, then it will do whatever is in here. If it doesn't, then it comes to the else, and then we don't do anything at the else. Okay, okay. So if we were using this to validate the login form, then if it doesn't contain anything, then that's where we do invalid or incorrect username or password here. Okay, so we check if it has a row. So if it has a row, now we come to what we name a string here, and then that string is going to get a particular string from our database. Okay, so how to get it is, since we've read whatever data we want into the data reader here, you bring this, and then you find the name for the particular column you are trying to get out of the database, and then you put that name here. So this name here has to match that of the one in the table. Okay, so if for some reason here is S, it will not find this particular column out of the table. So it has to match. It has to match correctly. And then for here, you can name it anything you want. Okay, this is just naming a variable, so you can name it anything you want. All you have to do is make sure this place is the same as that in the table. And what this here does is just converting it into a string. So you can either take this one out, okay, and then it tells you cannot implicitly convert type object to string. So you have to make sure you convert it to string. That's why we bring that one at the end there, okay, so that it converts whatever we get into a string, okay. And then I think you already know what message box show does. It just echoes out, it just read out what we got. So it will just read whatever user first name it got, and then it will display it in a box for you, okay. So I think the explanation is good, and then yeah. And then another thing, what the try and catch also does is that for the try part, it tries to execute this code, and when everything is correct, then it will work in here. But if for some reason there's an error in here, then it will come to the catch part, and then it will echo out whatever error we got in the try part, okay. So after you are done with your query, you have to make sure you close it. So that one, you do con.close, and then now you're done with the query here, and then everything is good, okay. So I'll end here, and then in the next video we would do the connection string from as I showed you at the settings part. We wanted to do this one dynamically, so that if you create a new data, you create a new table, you can change it here and all that, okay. So we will do that one in the next video, and then maybe the subsequent one we will validate our form with the table, okay. So I would like to end here, and then see you guys, okay, bye.